Hi, everybody. Welcome. Shout out to everybody in the chat for those that are coming through. I changed the time by like 5 minutes. So it's very likely that people are not going to be here yet. Shout out to everybody. Let me know if you guys can see me. Let me make sure my sound is on point because I know we were having sound issues at the last hour. Hopefully, everybody hears me. You guys hear me? Let me know. Okay. Diddy news, Diddy trial, Diddy. Let me make sure I share this with everybody. Welcome everybody. Okay, so we have not received the transcripts for today, and that is okay. We're just gonna go ahead and like basically leave off to where we were at yesterday. Because I feel like, first of all, like damn, I feel I mean, it's great that we get to read kind of like the updates and everything, which is fine, but it's there's something about context that just matters in terms of like what's actually being said versus what's being reported. So there's that. I also took a wonderful nap, so I'm like trying to wake up. It was a much needed nap. I like I said, I rarely take naps, but when I do, it's because I'm really tired. So that is okay. Welcome everybody. Yes, hit that like button, please, and thank you. Make sure you guys are subscribed. Shout out to everybody in the chat. So we're gonna start right there. If I get a notification that the transcripts are in for today, then we will hop into that. But for now, we don't have them, and that's okay. We're just gonna get started. Okay. So yesterday, where we left off, this is what happened. Okay. Yesterday, Jane Doe was she it was her birthday, and she was going to like a birthday, I guess, surprise or whatever at One Star, right? And it was supposed to be kind of like I guess she thought would be like a one, like a her being with the person that she wanted to be with, and then it turns out that it winded up being with an escort, and she winded up having S, while Sean Diddy Combs, Puff Daddy Combs, is like watching and getting a master's degree while he's watching the action. So it was a lot, okay? But apparently you guys heard that there was more to it. You know what? I have not heard from ICP yet. Um I wonder, I don't know what's going on. Hopefully he's okay, but I have not heard from ICP. And it's totally not like him not to give an update. So hopefully we'll get an update soon. But if not, that's okay. I don't want to pry into private matters. It's probably something going on. You know what I mean? So we're gonna mute that. Okay. So let's get it together. I think we just give until we hear something different, let's give people the space that they need. I don't have an update. I know this is the second time I see that question. I don't have an update about Inner City Press, guys. I don't have a relationship. I don't have an update or anything. I'm just a subscriber to his account and a supporter to his Patreon. That's all we know. That's all I know. So I don't know how to answer that because I don't know anything. Maybe privately message him. Maybe that might be a best way to go about it. I don't know. Everybody's following this case, so I'm sure a lot of people are kind of like worried about what's going on. But okay, let's get it together, guys, because we have to figure this out now. Hopefully, let's see. I'm gonna keep my eye out on my phone, and if we get the notifications about the other transcripts, we'll switch over right away. Okay. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Oh shit. Well, damn. Let's switch. We got an update. Okay. Hold up. Let me do something real quick, okay? Damn, that was quick. I was not expecting that, okay? Give me 1 second. Yeah, this is just like that. I told y'all, you just like that. Just like that. Um, let me see. Let me update something real quick. Defense. Let's put a big old bold word in there so people know that we're actually on the defense right now. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Let me change the title a little bit just so people know. So we have some updates just like that. I told y'all, you just never know. Okay. So we just got to switch right away and do it. literally came through as we were live. Okay, come on. Let me change this real quick because I don't want to change this live. Diddy trial. This would be, what day was it today? Day 20th? Day 20th. Defense cross-examines cross on Jane Doe. Here we go. Damn, that was quick. Okay, everybody come through. And we're just gonna jump right to it, y'all. I haven't even reviewed them or anything like that. Would it be day 20? Or is it day? It's day 21. That's what it is. It's day 21. Lord have mercy. What am I doing? Okay. Give me one sec, guys. All right. Just like that. Here we go. Give me one sec, guys. Damn, that was quick. You cannot sleep. You cannot sleep on this trial, my friends. You cannot sleep. There's no sleeping allowed. Here we go. Okay. And let's send this out real quickly. Life of a blogger on YouTube. That's what you got to do, like this. Right now, today. Let's go. Let's go. Okay. Send this to my. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I'm not ignoring people. I'm just trying to get this set up so we can get going. Shout out to everybody. So we have today's transcripts. Initially, we didn't. Now we do. Okay. So let's change it up, switch it up. Let's go. Okay. All right. So day 21. Today is June 10th, and we are about to review what happened today. Okay. Let me remove these. Stop sharing screen. Here we go. Okay. Shout out to everybody. Hold up. Love Wallace. They banned ICP from the courtroom. They gave him 2 hours booted out. He had it pinned on the top of the X account. Did he? See, and I don't, because I was waiting for him to say something. So that's why I didn't want to repeat that. But thank you for saying this, G Love Wallace. I wasn't sure if he was or if he wasn't. Thank you, my love, for supporting the channel. I appreciate it. Thank you. Okay. All right. All right. Let's get it together, guys. So here we go. We're gonna start right where we need to go. Okay. Let me see if I can skim read through some of this as to what's relevant here. I know that one of the things we wanted to know about was about juror 6. Maybe we could talk about juror 6. Is it 6? Okay, let me go done. Where do they talk about? Maybe they talk about the number 6. 6 or 7-inch heels. That's not it. Let's go to the juror. Let's see if the juror. So in the beginning of yesterday's proceedings, and this is, what page is this? Hold up. This is page 3. In the beginning of yesterday's proceedings, an issue had risen with respects to one of the jurors. At the time, there was an inquiry with the juror. And at that time, the defense had indicated that they had no objection to the juror continuing to hear this case. Is this juror number 6? Is this juror number 6? Okay. All right. I'm wondering. The government was going to do some additional research and would advise the court of its position. So it's the court speaking. Slavic for the government. Did the government have that opportunity? Miss Slavic, did the government have that opportunity? Slavic speaks. Your Honor, the portion of the conversation that took place in the robing room, that portion of the transcript is under seal. So we're not going to know what's going on. Okay. The government requested the court reporters to provide that portion of the transcript. After the government receives that, we do intend to submit something further. So they're trying to get juror 6 out, one of the jurors, and we're thinking it's 6, okay? All right. And in doing that, as you will see reflected in the sealed portion of the transcripts, there was some inquiry as to legal authority that would be relevant to this situation. I will tell you that I've looked and I was unable to find anything. So I will put that on your radar because you're probably better at this than me. Okay. So let me see if I can go. The court then says the other issues, just trying to tying up a loose end to Jane's counsel letter from last week concerning disclosures of Jane Doe's identity online. The court sends that letter to the Marshal Services to determine whether any of the individuals who had revealed Jane's identity online had been in the courtroom. Oh, shit. And we will inform the parties if there's any issue to address along those lines, that there is certainly the lookout for anyone who's been in the courtroom who has in any way violated this court order or disclosure of Jane's identity. That's to follow up on the issue. So they haven't followed up yet. Sounds like they're going to follow up to figure out if anybody has had an issue. Just you will not get timed out as long as you're kind of keeping it together. If you're trollish in my comments, then yeah, you're gonna get timed out. So like right now, get it together. Don't come in here talking about see how fast I get timed out, because you could just get blocked and then not be timed out. We don't got time for that. Like, let's be adults and not be trollish. Can we do that? Because I'm down for whatever, but I'm just saying, can we do that, please? And if you can't, then that's fine. That's an open invitation for me to block you right away. I don't got time. We don't have time. We don't have time. Got it? Let me know if you can keep it cute in the comments, okay? And yeah, so we can get it going. We don't have time for the bullshit. Okay? Everyone, live now on Defense Transcripts. Thank you. Okay. Let's see. So let's go done. Okay. So they had issues with the identity situation. They're going to file something. Okay, to the defense motion for a mistrial. We were asking about that this morning. Like, what's going on with this mistrial situation? Okay. So to the defense motion of a mistrial that was filed on Saturday, remember that weekend mistrial request. For the reasons set forth in the government on June 9, 2025 letters, the motion is denied. The only thing that the court will add to the government's letter is that to that extent, the defense letter suggests that the government hamstrung the defense cross-examination of Ms. Brianna by objecting and initiating sidebars. No inferences happened, and the defense was fully able to and did undermine, or was able to attempt to undermine, Ms. Brianna's testimony that the event in question occurred on and did not occur on the date that she testified to. The defense was also able to and did attack Brianna's testimony concerning other circumstances of the alleged incident. This is not fodder for a mistrial. That's not fodder for a mistrial, guys. Ooh. It is the adversarial process at work. The defense engaged in vigorous cross-examination to expose inconsistencies to Miss Brianna's testimony and to undermine her credibility. As for the exhibits admitted by the court, for this reason previously set forth by the court, it was properly admissible. And if anything, the exhibits, as read by the defense, supports their narrative. And the government's, namely the way the defense reads it. Ms. Ventura only learned about the balcony incident after the fact. That's why the defense, not the prosecution, was the first to use this document during the cross-examination of Ms. Ventura in an attempt to undermine her testimony, as she had witnessed the alleged balcony incident. Okay, so we're going to skip over that because we got to get right into it. So again, nothing as far as the mistrial. It's there. However you guys feel about it, let me know in the comments. But we got to get it together. We got to keep going. Okay. Let's see. Here we go. There's so much. See, because they start talking about all kinds of things before. Dr. Hughes was another issue here. Remember, they were trying to bring her back, and the prosecution lost on that. So that's a loss on the prosecution. We talked about that this morning. But we want to get right into Jane Doe's cross, okay? Let's get it together, okay? And tomorrow we'll probably, since we start a little bit later, we might have time to review some of this, okay? Uh, okay, arguments, here we go. No, Your Honor, nothing further. Okay, let's get it together. Let's get it going. Hurry up. Nice to meet you. Here we go. Open court, jury is present. Please be seated. Okay. Welcome back, jurors. Okay, here we go. You understand that you're still under oath. All of that is happening. Here we go. Cross-examination is to start. We know that Teeny Garagos is doing this cross-examination. Good morning, Jane. Good morning, Ms. Garagos. As Ms. Comey said, we've met before, right? Yes. We've met several times in person prior to this case or this trial starting, right? Yes. And then, as you said yesterday, once the trial began, you made the decision not to meet with me or Mr. Agnifilo anymore, right? Yes. Because you understood that was your choice, right? Yes. And nobody ever pressured you to meet with us again once you made that choice, right? That is correct. And since January, I think you said you've met with the prosecutors and agents in this case several times. Does that sound right? Yes. And would you say that it's about 24 times since January this year? Maybe around there. And every one of those 24 times, you went over the substance of your testimony with the prosecution and the agents involved here, right? Yes. And Miss Comey asked you yesterday who was paying for your attorney, and you said Mr. Combs is, right? Yes. Has Mr. Combs ever attempted to interfere with your attorney's representation of you? No. And do you feel that your attorney has represented you to the best of her ability? Definitely. And you're testifying here at this trial against Mr. Combs, despite him paying for your attorney, right? I'm testifying against him. Well, you're testifying as, I should rephrase that, as a witness here at this trial. Yes. Despite him paying for your attorney, right? Yes. So no pressure has been exerted by him on you at this trial, right? No. In other words, he's been paying for your attorney, and that has not prevented you from doing what you would like to do, right? Right. It's been 8 months or so since since his arrest. Does that sound right? Yes. And you haven't spoken to him. No. And you haven't seen him. The first time you've seen him is this week, right? Or Friday? Yes. And in the meeting, approximately 24 meetings with the government that you had, how many times did they prep you on how to be cross examined at this trial? I would say maybe 2 times. Did they bring other prosecutors into the meeting and cross examine you? Yes. How long did those parts of the meetings last? I would say about an hour, 30 to an hour. And in the other 24 meetings or over the approximately 24 meetings, did they go over all of your messages that we admitted yesterday over the course of your examination with you? Yes. And they did that with you at pretty much every meeting. Does that sound right? Yes. And some of the screenshots that we went over as well. Yes. I think you said yesterday you did not go to Homeland Security asking to participate in this case, right? Correct. They came to you? Correct. They came to you in March, right after the raids on Mr. Combs' homes? Yes. 2 agents came to your home? Yes. Then they came to you again after Mr. Combs arrested in September, October, right? Yes. And you wanted, well, in March, when they came to your home, did you want anything to do with them at that point? No. And those warrants, to your memory, were those in March or were those in March of 2024? I believe so. It was about a month after you had gotten back together with Mr. Combs after your break. Yes. And you had the choice to speak to them if you wanted to, right? Yes. And you chose not to speak with them, right? I chose to have an attorney represent me in the matter. You chose to get an attorney, and then you and your attorney, and I'm not asking about those conversations, made decisions on what to do with the agents at the time, right? Yes. And at that time, you had gotten back together with Mr. Combs about a month earlier, right? Yes. And so you knew that he was under investigation in March of 2024. And that at that time, you had done one more. It wasn't a hotel night, right? Because you said it was at One Star Island, but you had done more one. Hold up. You had done one more night with Mr. Combs, and I think you said it was done. Yes. There's an objection from the government, objection from Comey. Court says, is there an objection? Objection to the form of the question, Your Honor. Okay, why don't you rephrase the question? And the court is asking the defense to rephrase the question. In February, I believe you testified yesterday in February of 2024. You had gotten back together with Mr. Combs around your birthday, right? Yes. And you had done a night with, I believe you testified Don in February of 2024 at his house in Miami, right? Yes. And then at that, and then one month later in March of 2024, when the warrants were executed at Mr. Combs' homes, you knew at that point he was under investigation, right? Yes. Okay. And after Mr. Combs' arrest, when they subpoenaed you, you went into the grand jury, right? Yes. And did the government give you immunity? Yes. Mm. And what is your understanding of what a grant of what a grant of immunity is? That's when I share my story and I'm immunized the whole thing. Immunized? Is that how you say that? Yeah. And then I'm immunized the whole thing. Is your understanding that they can't prosecute you for any federal crimes if they determine you tell the truth? Yes. You didn't want the government to prosecute you, obviously, right? Yes. One of the texts we looked at yesterday, you said that you had regret about some of the choices you made with Mr. Combs. Do you remember looking at that? If you have it, I would love to look at it with you. Okay. All right. I do have it. We'll get to it later, but I guess I'll change my question. You spoke on direct examination about regret, right? Yes, because you regret a lot of the choices that you made in your 3.5 years of relationship with him, right? I would say that I resent him for leading me into the lifestyle that he led me to. And you chose to participate in that lifestyle for many years, right? I would say that my choices were made under a lot of emotional pressure due to my relationships. Because you were in a relationship with him, right? Yes. And you wanted to stay in that relationship. Yes. You loved him very much. Yes. And you did not want to break up. No. And at that time, he would say, okay, we could just break up, right? He would say that, but his actions proved otherwise. He would say to you, we could just break up, right? He has said those things, yes. And then you did not want to break up with him, right? No. There were several times that you didn't want that you didn't talk to him for a few weeks or even a few months, but ultimately you did not want to break up with him. Of course not. And so you feel resentful at this time that you had S with other men for a long time in your relationship with him, right? Yes. I resent the way that he went about introducing me to this lifestyle that was built under a lot of emotional manipulation and pressure. Yes, I do resent that about our relationship very much because you wanted to just be in a relationship with him for 3.5 years. No, because I was already so hooked from the beginning. I fell in love with somebody who I didn't understand like the term and the conditions of our relationship would be like. And so for once I was hooked into that and I fell in love, but my emotions were in play, so it was many blurred lines of love and affection and mixed with emotional pressure to perform these things that my lover really desired. So I wanted to fulfill my duties as a good girlfriend. And because you wanted to be a really good girlfriend and partner, you use the word partner over and over again. Yes. On direct, you wanted to be a very good partner for him, right? Yes. And a lover for him? I did. And you just said you were hooked on the love and affection that you felt from him, right? Definitely. And you kept coming back because you loved his love and affection and the way he treated you, right? I was coming back for that. Yes. Not for the other things. Right. You came back because you loved his love and affection and your relationship with him. Definitely. And I think on direct examination, you said you're having trouble answering for yourself why you agreed to these nights over and over again, right? Yes. And these are questions you're trying to answer for yourself now, 8 months later after his arrest, right? Yes. And because sometimes I think you testified on direct, the why was different at times. It could be because not doing these nights meant not being with him, right? Objection. Miss Comey objects. Objection to form. Court speaks. Can you rephrase that question? Garagos. Sure, of course. All right, hold up. Let me take a drink. Damn. Garagos is doing like this circular questioning that it's like, oh my God. Okay. So, update for those, we just got the transcripts for today. And she is on cross, and we're getting right to what happened. A girl, thank you for being a member for 1 month. Thank you for bringing the receipts. Thank you to you guys. Thank you, A girl. I appreciate it. Just giving you guys a heads up. This is where we're at. Now, let me let the people know we are listening to the defense. Cross now. Okay. Guys, again, I keep seeing the same question over and over. What happened in Inner City Press? I do not know. Send him a personal message. He's on Twitter. I do not know what happened. I know people said that he was banned. I'm not really sure. I haven't checked. People have said different things, and I can't confirm or anything because I don't know what's going on. So I'm going to ask you guys. I've seen this question like 10 times already in the chat. I don't know where he's at. I don't know anything. I don't know. I don't know what happened. So let's keep going, okay? Because we have to keep moving on. Okay. Nobody knows. Thank you. Yeah, can we stop like every 5 seconds? I'm getting it. It's too much. Okay. Let's keep going. We hope he's good. Yeah, we want to know, but it's like I don't know what the answer is. I don't know what's going on. And I have no idea. But I definitely think that the questioning that she's doing here is very circular. I don't know how you guys feel about that. It's like circular questioning. You know what I mean? Okay, here we go. Let's get started. So Teeny continues with the questioning and the why. You spoke about on direct examination that you're having trouble understanding why, even now, 8 months later, right? The why? Which why? You came back and started doing these nights over and over again, right? You're having trouble understanding why 8 months later, still, right? I struggle with my why, but it's becoming more and more clear as I'm in therapy and as I've had this healthy distance to really assess the situation. You're in therapy now? Yes. And it's becoming clear to you now that you're in therapy, right? Yes. But but this is something that you're trying to understand now. But it wasn't something that you could be clear about until you went to therapy. Is that right? I think that's when you're under that. Okay, so Teeny interrupts. Can you answer my question? Which is, you're in therapy now, 8 months later. Okay. Interruption from government. Your Honor, I'd ask the witness be able to answer the question. Court speaks. That's a fair objection. So, Ms. Garagos, court speaks. If you're not getting a response answer, you can make an application to the court, but otherwise, the witness should be permitted to complete her answers. Okay. Garagos says, understood, Your Honor. She continues. In the end, what you knew, Jane, was that you love Mr. Combs, right? Yes. And I think you said even 2 days ago that you love him currently. Is that right? I do. You would have done anything during this time to spend time with him. Yes. I love spending time with my partner. You wanted to be close to your partner? Yes. You wanted to be close to your lover? Yes. And you wanted to cuddle with him? Does that sound right? And give him a foot rubs? Yes. He liked the foot rubs part of it. He liked the foot rub part. Hold up. He liked the foot rubs part of it. I'm having a hard time reading the foot rub. Like just imagining that, I don't know what it is. Okay. He liked the foot rubs part of it. Yes, he did. I think you've told me before that you enjoy taking care of him after these hotel nights. Does that sound right? Objection from the government. Objection to counsel making herself a witness, Your Honor. Court says overruled. Yes, he was my baby. You liked kind of mothering. You liked taking care of your partner and your lover. Yes, I'm naturally nurturing. Yes. So after these nights, when you guys would be up for a long time, it would be, I think you testified, sometimes 24 to 36 hours, right? Yes. And then you would go back to his home or you would stay in the hotel and you love the time when you guys got to be close and spend that time together, right? Yes. And you love to hug him and cuddle him and bathe him. She responds, and bathe him and bathe him and give him foot rubs. Yes. And watch his favorite TV show. What was his favorite TV show? Dateline. And you would watch that for hours, right? Till we fell asleep. Yes. I think you testified that he would take Xanax to fall asleep, right? Yes. But that but that you would stay up and that was your favorite time. You felt very close to him afterwards, right? Yes. You also said that you didn't want him to feel judged. What does that mean? I meant, do you mean in the context of these rooms? Yes. In the context of these rooms, I felt that my partner was trusting me in a very vulnerable moment. And well, so he made me believe that this was something very special, really special, that this was something that him and I only did. And I really took that on very strongly. And I really wanted to just go along with these things because I felt like if I can be my partner's escape, that I would be. And I didn't want to judge him for the things that I noticed in these rooms about his behaviors and the things that he liked. And I just would kind of, put blinders on and just go along with what he was telling me to do. But deep down in my heart, and from what I could assess in that situation, I mean, I didn't want him to feel that eyes were on him while he was in this vulnerable state. So you viewed these rooms when you were there, he was there, and an entertainer as a vulnerable state for him, right? Yes. And you also said in that answer, because I want to unpack it, that he made you believe he wasn't doing this with anybody else. Is that what you believe? Within our timeline. Okay. And you, fair to say, you would look at his phone from time to time throughout your relationship. I would always look at his phone. Yes. His password was easy to break through on his phone. Yes. And so would you look at his messages with other women to see if this was something that he did with anybody else? Yes, I did. So you believe, based on looking at his phone and reviewing his messages, that he was telling the truth, that this is something within your timeline that he was only doing only doing with you, right? Yes. Okay. So he was trusting only you. And out of all of his girlfriends at the time, and during this vulnerable time that you guys had together in the hotel rooms, right? Yes. How did him trusting you make you feel? Loved. And so you felt really loved by him in those rooms because he was able to be vulnerable with you. I felt really loved by him because we experienced these things together and because they were something really special for him. And as time went on, it was very conflicting for me internally because I'm breaking all of my own boundaries just to make him feel extremely loved in these times. You've said to the government before that what you needed and what you carved craved, not carved. And what you craved about those nights were the loving things he said to you. Do you remember that? Yes. Oh, oh my God. Hold my invisible pearls. Do you see what Teeny Garagos did right here? Oh my God. The level of questioning. Do you see how she flipped that right? She's a Garagos, that's for sure. I'll say she's a Gar. The way she flipped that questioning right there, what did she say? She felt like this was something that I could do with my partner, and I'm vulnerable, and this and that and the other. And then she's like, wait a minute, he's vulnerable with the third person there? How's that be? Like, she's poking the holes on this vulnerability piece and basically putting out to say, like, you knew that there was other people involved. You knew that I hate to put it this way, but you're nothing special. There were other women out there that this man was doing this to. Let me know if you picked that up, because oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Mhm. Let me know and hit the like button, please. And thank you, y'all. I took a nap for this. Okay. Let me just say, I took a nap for this. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, it's the price for his time. That's right, Jeanette. It's like she knew it's weird, but she did do a flipperoo there. She did a reverse Uno there. This is skill right here. Like, oh my God. All right. You said you don't see that, Amory, but it's the questioning, the line of questioning that got me kind of like, whoa. Okay. Let's keep going, y'all. Let's keep going. Because she did the flip right there. I just wanted to point that out. Okay. So you said to the government before that you needed, and that what you craved about those nights were the loving things he said to you. Do you remember that? Yes. Okay. What were some of the loving things he said to you that you craved or that you needed from these nights? I loved when we would make love and he would say that he was in love with me and that he loved me and that he just wanted me and never wanted, in some instances, like if I had left or anything, he would say things like he never wanted me to leave. And just so many nice, beautiful, loving things. And that was something that brought you, did you feel that that was something that brought you two together during those nights? Yes. And what other loving things did you experience that he did during these hotel nights? What other loving things? You talked about things he said. Were, or if there were anything, were there things that he did that you enjoyed about these nights? I think it would be the affection and the love making between you and him afterwards. Yes. That was something that you really enjoyed and craved about these nights. That was truly the only reason why I endured these nights. So that at the very end, I could just have my love and affection with my partner. And did you feel and did you feel did you feel hold up, this is a question. And did you feel during these nights that this is something that really turned him on and made him and he really enjoyed? Yes. And he was very close to you, would you say, afterwards? Like he would be very, I know you said he was very loving. He would say nice things and there would be love making, but would you feel closeness with him as well? I would. And is that something you enjoyed also? Yes. Because you wanted to feel closeness with your lover and your partner. Yes. And you wanted him to be satisfied, right? I did. Did you feel, if you did you feel that these nights satisfied him? Yes, they did. At the at that time you started dating him, did you feel that he had a very demanding life, business life, work life? I would say yes. What kind of things was he working on for work at that time you started dating him? Let's say from 2021 to, we'll do what Miss Comey did, 2023. I would say he was working on his album. And tell me about the album. He was working on like a final album, a collaboration with various music artists. Miss Comey asked you about the term called off the grid. Was his album called Off the Grid? Yes, it was. And called the Love album? Yes. And was this something that you observed he was really pouring his heart and soul into? Yes. And was this his first solo album in a very, very long time? Yes. And so was he at the studio working on this album a lot? I would say yes. Did you join him at the studio sometimes? I would sometimes. Did you like to see him in that environment? I liked to see him in any environment because he was your partner, your lover, and you wanted to be with him and and see what excited him. Yes. So he was working a great deal on this album. Yes. Is this something that had a pressure on him or a demand on him in any way? Objection, says Miss Comey. From your perspective, okay, court says overruled. So Garagos was still talking and she kind of got cut off. Judge says overruled. She answers. Jane Doe answers. To some extent, I think he enjoyed it. I don't know if it was bad pressure. From what you could tell, was he working on anything else, like business wise? Was it just the album? From what I could tell, it was just the album. And did it take him many years from 2021 to eventually 2023 to complete that album? Yes. Was he working on it? Was he working on it the whole time? I believe so. Okay. And then does he eventually release the album in September of 2023? Yes. And is that the time when you went to New York that we spoke about yesterday in September of 2023? He launched that album? I believe so. Okay. And so did you feel that you were the only person? I mean, I think we talked. He had many girlfriends at that time. You were dating him, right? Yes. Do you feel that you were the only person who he is truly, who he truly liked sexually? Yes. Did you feel that that brought a closeness between you two because you shared a secret of his nobody else knew? Yes. Did you feel that brought a closeness between you two because you shared a secret nobody else knew. I think I read that twice. Yes. And did you feel that he entrusted you with that and you took that seriously? Yes. And you tried. Tell me if this is right. To be very sexy for him in those rooms because this is something he liked, right? I don't think I tried. I think I did. And I was. You were very SC to him, right? Yes. Because you're a beautiful woman, right? Thank you. And he would tell you that. Yes. And say that that's why you would choose a lot of the lingerie you would wear. It was a mix of my choosing and his choosing. Yes. You can tell me, starting from the beginning, would you choose lingerie or did he? And did you learn what he liked and then you started choosing? I remember when we were in Turks and Caicos and it was Valentine's Day and he led me into a room and he opened the closet and there was an array of outfits of high heels. So I would say that he initiated the tone of the wardrobe of these nights at first. Yes. Okay. So that was the Turks and Caicos trip you went to in February of 2021. Yes. And then you started choosing after that when he set the tone of what he liked actually. And you said you felt, sexy in them, right? Yes. And you were in those rooms to him, right? Yes. And you started, it was a mix of him choosing outfits and you choosing outfits, right? Yes. All right. And you also talked about baby oil. You know what he liked, baby oil, right? Yes. And that was something that you used for him, not just like in hotel nights, but regularly in your S life, because that was something that turned him on. Yes. And that was fine with you because you wanted to turn on your partner, right? Yes. And in those hotel rooms, you could see that it meant a lot to him that you were in there, right? Yes. This is something that he really enjoyed. For example, when you spoke dirty to one of those guys. Yes. And so you said that you knew the things that he liked and you didn't say all of them during these nights, right? Yes. So to your mind, you thought he was enjoying it, right? Yes. Okay. And then you also thought that the entertainer thought you really enjoyed it as well, right? Yes. Because you were very vocal about the things that you were doing and the way that you were performing, right? Under these rugs and X, sometimes I would just talk fantasy talk and fantasy talk the whole way through. I can't even recall all the things I would say, but I believe that they enjoyed it. Yes. And because when you decided to take the X, that was more of like an uninhibited rug when you would get on it, right? Objection from Comey to form. Yes, court says rephrase. So they're rephrasing the question. Okay. Um oh my gosh, let me see. Look, listen, my friend, I already gave you like 50 warnings. Let's just, maybe you need to take a nap. Why don't I give you like let's see. Maybe we can do like, maybe you come back tomorrow if you can't get your shit together. So another, like what I said, I don't have time to stop. Like if my mod tells you to stop, or I started this live telling you to get your shit together. I'm not stopping anymore. Bye. Okay, let's go. So she's having to rephrase the question. Garagos has to rephrase the question. You said that on X, you would do a lot of fantasy talk, right? Yes. And Miss Comey asked you a lot about the X that you took during these nights, right? Yes. And that Mr. Combs would have X, right? And that Mr. Combs would have X, right? Yes. And that you chose to take the X, right? my choice to take the X, I would say that Mr. Combs would offer me the X and expect me to take it. And you would take it, right? Yes. How old were you at the time that you started your relationship with Mr. Combs? I would say I was 35. Okay. So, and so on X, you testify that you would feel more inhibited, right? Yes. Okay. Any more actual? Yes. So I think it's interesting. Let me stop right here. I think it's interesting that defense is pointing out the age, which is the thing that people have said. Sorry, Vic, I had to block because he started his shit before you even got here. So I had to block. I'm done. We don't have time for that. Like that was earlier. So sorry. I know I just had to interject. This is doing too much. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna troll, then go away. We don't want you here. But it wasn't even yesterday he got blocked too. I don't like blocking people, but it's like you're doing too much in the chat and we gotta get through this. But yeah. But Vic, I'm just letting you know, just so you're aware. Um uh, uh okay. So said, okay, so on ecstasy, or excuse me, on X, you testified that you would feel more uninhibited, right? Yes. And more estual? Yes. And so then you would be able to engage in hours and hours of fantasy talk, right? Yes. And what kind of talk is that? I would say, what kind of talk is fantasy talk? No. Thank you, Vic. Sorry, my love. I'm sorry. I know. I should have said something to you. Sorry about that. It's all good. Um, okay, let me get back together. All right. I would say, what kind of talk is fantasy talk? So she's asking, okay. So this is Jane Doe answering. No. What are some examples of the things that you would say in these rooms at hotel nights during these 3 years or 3.5 years? I would say that Sean really enjoyed setting a tone of a role play. And he would have me and the entertainer have a role play. And then that would cue me to play into that role. What are examples of the role play that he liked that you would play into? I would say a lot of cheating role play, and they would be like Sean would left town and I'm all alone with me and whoever, and I'm sneaking this entertainer and it's just me and this entertainer, and I'm just fantasy talking about how Sean's on a plane and I couldn't wait to get this entertainer all alone to myself, etc. Okay. And even when you were not in these rooms, say just times that you were watching prawn or having a movie night, would you engage in this type of role play between me and Sean? Yes. Yes, you would? Excuse me. She says, between me and Sean, yes. Yes, we would. Okay. So role play and fantasy is something that would take place even if it was just you and him having S as well, right? Yes. All right. And I think you testified that he would kind of give directions during these hotel nights, right? Mm, yes. And from your perspective, part of what turned Mr. Combs on was that he could kind of also prompt you and the entertainer to do things, right? From my perspective, it turned him on because he could prompt what me and the entertainer would do. Would he give you directions and would that turn him on? I would assume that that would turn him on. Okay. Okay. Would Mr. Combs give you directions, you and the entertainer, during these nights? Yes. And did that, from your perspective, excite him? Yes. And you also then would say things from for the entertainer to do, as you just said during the role plays, right? Yes. And all right. And the high heels are you somebody who often wears high heels? Yes. The high heels, these ones were pretty tall, right? Yes. How many inches? I would say 6 or 7. But you're somebody who regularly wears high heels in your daily life, right? These are particularly kind of kind of high heels. So I would say I would occasionally wear these types of heels, but in real life, I would wear things that are about 3 to 4 inches in real life. Okay. But so you're not accustomed to wearing high heels, maybe not these ones, but in your real life you're accustomed to wearing these high heels outside of these hotel rooms, right? Yes. Including 4 inch ones, yes. Maybe not 5 to 7 inch ones, yes. You talked about how he liked it when you made arrangements with entertainers, right? Yes. And also, sometimes you did. You made the calls and you made those arrangements because you knew that he liked it, right? I knew that there was an undertone of this expectation, one of me to set up a party or make an arrangement. And so I picked up on that fairly quickly and I would make these arrangements because the undertone was the expectation. Because this was, I think, what you said on direct examination fairly quickly. You learned that this was the tone of your relationship, right? Which part? Having hotel nights. Yes. Okay. And you knew that when you made arrangements that it turned Mr. Combs on, right? Yes. All right. So during this 3.5 year relationship, you guys were never living in the same place. Is that right? That's right. So in the beginning time period, you were living on the East Coast and he was living in Florida? Yes. And you were living on the East Coast from about, I would say, like the first half of your of 2021, is that right? Yes. A little of 20, yeah, like the first half, yes. Okay. And would you make the choice every time to see him to get that to then get on a plane and come to Miami, right? Yes. And then you would move to Los Angeles. Then I think you said in June of 2021, right? Yes. Then he helped you pay your moving expenses to be in Los Angeles, right? Yes. And you were on the East Coast in 2021 because you wanted your child to be closer to your child's father, right? Yes. And during the time that you were on the East Coast, did your child's father see your child at all? Oh, remember we said this into the chat? 50 pennies? What is it? 5 dimes? 2 quarters? And I don't know how many nickels and dimes and all that. Y'all make that in there in the chat. I can't do that math right now. But into the chat, all of them. Okay? This is when it gets like this. Oh my God. You said I'd be oh my God. I swear the heels conversation. Oh, I cannot. Um, all right, we gonna get into this. And that's when she gets into like, I don't know what she says. What does this have to do with this whole thing? I cannot. What do you guys think so far? Oh my God. The half dollar, yes, half dollar. Ain't no way. He's making his defense to throw people under the bus is sticky. 20 pennies, 20 nickels. There you go. Um, okay, let's keep going. So I want to know what this has to do with the father. Okay, hold up. Let's see where we're at. Okay. And during that time, you were in the East Coast. Did your child's father see your child at all? Hold up. And during that time, and during that entire time, you were on the East Coast. Did your child's father see your child at all? What does that have to do with this whole thing? That's what she asked. Hold up. Let me do something real quick. Oh my God. Hold up. Here we go. Okay. Why did you move to? Why did you move to Los Angeles? I moved to Los Angeles because the purpose of living on the East Coast wasn't being fulfilled. So we moved. And Mr. Combs was the one who helped pay for your moving expenses, right? Yes. Your child's father didn't help you pay for those, right? That is correct. And you wanted to be in Los Angeles to be near family. Yes. And you were at that point across the country from Mr. Combs, right? Yes. And you would make the choice over 3.5 years every time you went to Miami to get on a plane and to go see him, right? Yes. Oh, okay. I see where this is going. So, does Five Dimes live in LA? So he lives in LA, and the person that paid for her to move to LA was to have her child be closer to Five Dimes. But Five Dimes didn't pay for this move. It was Diddy who paid for the move. Am I hearing this correctly? Is that right? So no, he never lived there? I'm kind of wondering about this because this is what it's at least what they're painting, right? That's what it sounds like. So Five Dimes was in the East, but it says right here, I moved to Los Angeles because the purpose of living on the East Coast wasn't fulfilled. So we moved. Mr. Combs was the one who helped you pay for the move. Expenses, right? Yes. Your child's father didn't help you pay for that. So during the entire time that you were on the East Coast, did your child's father see your child at all? She says, what does that have anything to do with this? Why did you move? Like, where was he at? You said he was in the East Coast? You said she moved to the East Coast because Five Dimes paid her no mind on the East Coast. Ah, okay. Okay. I'm wondering about that. Okay. All right. And you also then ended up being and you also then ended up being about 30 minutes away from his house in Los Angeles. So you would see him there as well, right? Yes. I'm going to talk a little bit about, I think you said you saw him every week. So you get on a plane every single week when he was in Miami to go from Los Angeles to Miami. Miss Comey says, objection, Your Honor, misstates the testimony. Okay. How often, here's the question, it's rephrased. How often would you say you saw him? Once you moved to Los Angeles, how often would you say that you saw him? So let's say May. That would have been June of 2021 to the end of 2024. We know when we saw him in 2024. So until October of 2023. It honestly varied, she responds. Sometimes I would see him every week and a half. Sometimes I would see him every couple weeks. Sometimes it would be more than 5 weeks. And then just it would vary. You talked about the times that you would take breaks from Mr. Combs on direct examination. And you would say that you would tell him, I don't want to do this anymore sometimes. And then he would say, you said, he would say he would be dismissive. Does that sound right? Objection. Comey objects to form. Rephrase the question, says the court. On direct examination, you talked about the times that you would tell Mr. Combs that you didn't want to do this anymore. Do you remember that? To do what anymore? Hotel nights anymore. Yes. And he would say, you testified that he would be dismissive in response, right? Yes. And he would say things to you like, we can just break up, right? Yes. And he saw in text that you would then get back together with him. One instance, it was about 2 weeks later, right? That was in 2023. Yes. And that was early in 2023, I would say. Yes. Okay. In another instance, it was like 2.5 months later, right? Yes. And in 2024, it was about a month later, right? Yes. And each of those times, it's because you missed him dearly, right? Each of those times, we would get back because we would miss each other. Yes. He also really missed you. Yes. Shit. The way the questioning is going here. And so the reason you got back together is that the two of you missed each other as partners. Yes. And as lovers? Yes. And it's because you wanted to be with him? Yes. And so you would get back together with him on your own volition, right? Yes. Okay. Thank you for thank you for following my water break. Okay, water break, says Garagos. We listened to a few voice notes on direct examination. And I would say, by my account, it was about five that he was a bit angry in those voice notes. Do you remember that? Yes. Fair to say, Mr. Combs probably sent you thousands of voice notes over your relationship? Yes. Is he somebody who communicated quite often over voice notes? Yes. And we just listened to very, very small samples of voice notes, of a total voice notes that he sent to you over the course of your relationship, right? Yes. Could you please tell me? I know you talked about it. I know you talked about this a little bit on direct, but you said that you felt in love with him because he was this larger than life charismatic personality. Can you explain what it is? Why did you feel he was a larger than life charismatic personality? He was very confident and strong, very boisterous and very sure of himself, very righteous, and just beamed a very bright light when I met him. And that bright light was something that you loved being around, right? Yes. I was fascinated by him. Can you explain that little bit more? What were you fascinated by, and why did you like it? He was just something unique and different. Like, I had never met anybody with such a big personality and very big energy and very motivating, encouraging, and just larger than life. He wasn't afraid to just have his voice heard, and it was very attractive. What about him was motivating to you? I believe that he wanted you to believe in yourself. He was a really good motivator, and he was really good motivational. Hold up. And he had really good motivational speeches, pushed you to be your best, and really had a lot of great leadership skills. How did he push you to be your best? I would say, with me, I think that when we first met, I was a lot shyer than I am now, and he just, told me that I don't know, just saw the good in me, and I appreciated that. Do you remember saying that he was strong and unafraid and saw you for you? Yes. Can you explain what you mean by saw you for you? I would say that I would say that it's something that I can't really describe. It's like he just would, I don't know, just be encouraging. Like, he would just bring me up and bring everything about me up. He would uplift me. In what ways would he uplift you? In what ways would Sean uplift me? Did you feel stronger being with him? He made me feel confident, yes. Did you struggle maybe with self esteem issues beforehand? I still do. And then being with him, you felt stronger and more confident? Yes. Like, he gave me a bit more confidence because he exuded confidence to you as well, right? Yes, he did. And what other positives would you say came from your relationship with him? Just giving me different perspectives on life and introducing me to gospel. And he would have really insightful conversations, just various topics. And he had really good perspectives on a lot of things. So this is what he said. He had a lot of good perspective on a lot of things. So you guys would also engage in very deep conversations with one another, right? Yes. So it was not just your relationship, essentially, was not just hotel nights. You were able to speak with him. Yes. And you enjoyed listening to his perspective on different issues, right? Yes. And were you able to open up in ways that you weren't able to open up with other people, right? Yes. He introduced you to gospel. Can you explain that? Yeah, sure. He had a favorite pastor, and he would often put a lot of sermons on the television, and he would watch it together. We would watch it together and we would talk about it. And he would send me sermons, and I would start sending him sermons, and I would watch them on my own and gospel music and everything like that. Hold on, let me stop right there. This is where I got dragged in the comments earlier. Where's Vic? Vic. Sorry, I'm laughing because we were talking about this and we put in like a name and the people got mad. I was like, listen, I don't know, man. I ain't. Have you ever been? Was this before or after the freak off? Were you swallowed up in the freak off? Sorry. Oh man. Oh man. So, okay, I'm sorry. I know you guys listen to TD Jakes. Okay, I'm sorry, but I just had to assume it was people got mad. And I said it could have been TD Jakes, it could have been Joel Olstein, it could have been just about any. It could have been the Pope. I don't know. I know, minds y'all, but I had to say, listen, I had to say something. Okay. Anyways. Don't get mad at me. I'm just, anybody can get it, okay? Anybody can get it. All right? Oh man, my face hurts. Okay. Praise the praise break. Oh my god. Okay. See, thank you. Grits and Grace is like, we already know. Okay. Uh Let me see. Let's see. All right, let's keep it together. Okay. Um Hold up. Where did I leave off? Where's my highlighted point? Damn, did I lose my point? I think I did. Hold up. Is this the right date? Damn, I just highlighted it. Where did it go? Okay, as lovers, we read this. We talked about am I gonna have to search gospel? Here it is. I was on 59. He had a different perspective, introducing me to gospel. I know here it is. This is where I left off. Damn. Done. Okay. Page 60. So then the question continues. I know Sylvia's like, get it together, Rabbit. I'm trying. I'm trying. Okay. Um, was that something that has stayed with you even in the months since his arrest? Yes. And is that something that was positive for from your relationship with him? Yes. And do you still watch the same pastor today? Yes. Objection. So she's still watching the same pastor. Comey objects. Court says sustain. You said that he gave you a different perspective on life. Can you explain that? It it's not really something completely concise, just that I would just listen to him and just gain a different perspective and insights in general. Okay. It could be about people, it can be about life, family, and children. Okay. And talk to me about family. What about family did, or what perspective did you gain about family from him? Objection from Comey. Sustain. About what about? All right, I'll just move on. You said that he was strong and encouraging and motivating on direct examination. You talked about how when you first met him, you were a content creator and an influencer on Instagram, right? Yes. And was he, I don't think you spoke about this. Did you also have two businesses during your relationship with them? With the swimwear line? I did. And you had a dress line? I did. And he was encouraging all of those as well, right? Yes. And did he did he invest money into those businesses for you? He did. My dress line. How much money did he invest in the dress line? I believe it was like 2000. Okay. And how long was your dress line in business for? It still is. It's just I launched it and it's there and it's available. And so you worked on the dress line during your relationship with Mr. Combs? Yes. And was he encouraging of that business? Yes, he was. And so much so that he invested 20,000 into it. Yes. And is that something that you found motivating from him, that he was encouraging of your entrepreneurial ways? It was definitely something I appreciated. And so when you said on direct examination that you weren't able to put all the time into your work as a content creator and an influencer, you were also doing other work, right? I would say that in the time that I could focus, I was able to focus and just launch something. Yes. But I still had a lot of fog during that time. So, guys, what do you guys think? Because she said, and this was on direct, okay, that it was a distract. Maybe she couldn't focus on everything, but she was doing two different businesses, a swimwear line and a dress line, and then he invested, I think, 20,000 and didn't ask any for Diddy didn't ask for any money back. So where do you guys land with that? What do you guys think? I don't know. I guess anything can happen. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about this, okay? And in your dress line, what was like the purpose behind your dress line? Is there just dresses for women? Is there a tagline for it? Tell me about the dress line. Objection from the government. Overruled. Why does the government want to object to this? Is it because they didn't address it during their um direct? I want to know about this. Like, why are they saying this? Okay. So then she answers, I would say that it was a minimal style dress line. Okay. And so did your work shift from content creation to apparel? I believe that I dabbled into apparel. And then as far as content creating, that was kind of hard to keep up because it needed my presence, and a lot of my presence were focused on Combs and my child, and I definitely probably scratched maybe 10% of my potential during those 3 years. Okay. Okay. You just testified that there were times you wouldn't fly and see him for months, right? Objection. That's overruled. Sometimes, yes, we could go like a couple, like 6 weeks or so without seeing each other. Okay. And Mr. Combs was in the apparel industry, right? He had launched a clothing line. You knew that. Can you remind me? If you don't know, no problem. Okay. All right. When you first met him, you said you had minimal income from the influencer side of things. Is that right? Yes. Okay. How much would you say you were generating per month from the influencer business? I would say when I was really active on Instagram, if I were to book maybe two brands, that would be about 50 or so. And then it just depended how many brands I was able to commit to. Okay. And you also received child support at the time, right? I did. How much was that per month? It was very minimal. Okay. She says let me stop. It was very minimal. It was around the time maybe 4,700. And but you were living within your means, right? Yes, you were paying your own rent. Yes, between 20 when you met him in January, let's say November of 2020 and April of 2023, you were responsible for paying your own rent, right? Yes. This is minimal? I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Really? Literally that's minimal? maybe because we know the father, and he's got a lot of money and stuff like that. But it's like, oh my, it's hard to swallow because it's like, girl, like there's people that don't even get any child support. With people with a lot of money, they still don't get any child support. Like, damn, she said minimal. Okay. I don't know. What do you guys think? You said 25 is minimal. Let me know what you guys think in the comments because I know you guys feel some type of way. I have some questions about the Jane Doe. I do. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, okay, well, all right. I'm not. That doesn't take away from the experience that she went through whatsoever. But um, yeah. In child support, Vic, you said in what context? That is very minimal. Minimal to what? Because then Teeny's asking her, "You're living within your means, right?" She says, "Yes." Right? You were paying your own rent. Yes. How was she paying her own rent when she separated from Combs? Is that what they're saying? Right. More as we said, 51 cents. I guess it just depends. Listen. Really? Really? Wow. Well, this is minimal. Vic is like, I'm halfway listening, Rabbit. No worries, Vic. Shout out to Vic. But I just want to know, I want to know what you guys think about this. You know what, Alexis? You're right. Could be child expenses. It depends what they are. That's true. That's true, Lex. That's true. Okay. Um, let's keep going. All right. Let me reserve my because I feel like I'm being a little too judgy here, but that's okay. Um, let's get to as much as I can. All right. Hit the like button, by the way. Please and thank you. Yeah, please hit the like button, support the channel. Hit the like button. Let me see, where are we at with these? Are the likes liking? Because some of you guys come in here and don't even like. Like, how rude. Get it together, okay? Shout out to everybody, okay? But get it together, show some support, and hit the like button. Thank you, okay? See, Marissa even says it right here. Lord have mercy. Wow. Okay. She was getting. At least she wasn't getting 51 cents. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Marissa. You always like you better, Smiley, and that's not a threat. Okay, she says it was very minimal. We got there. Okay. Were you paying your own rent? Yes. Between 20, when you met him in January, let's say November of 2020 and April of 2023, you were responsible for paying your own rent, right? Yes. Okay. And you worked in order to pay that rent, right? Yes. And Miss Comey asked you whether you had a conversation with Mr. Combs about wanting to make your own money in the beginning, right? Can you repeat that? Miss Comey asked you on direct examination whether you had a conversation with Mr. Combs when you started dating him about wanting to make your own money, right? Yes. About getting an OnlyFans. Yes. Okay. So when she asked you about making your own money, it was specific. You understood that the question was specific to OnlyFans. Yes. Because you were already making money on the Instagram side of things, right? Yes. And you said that Mr. Combs, that you spoke to him about OnlyFans, he would kind of brush it off, or he would just say, we'll talk about it, or we could talk about that later, right? Yes. What was your understanding of why he may not have wanted you on OnlyFans during the time of your relationship? My understanding was that he just wanted maybe to be didn't want me to be part of something that was maybe frowned upon. And then you eventually joined OnlyFans again in 20, maybe not again in 2024, right? My decision to join the website was truly because it was just something that I needed. And it was if I could get off that website, I would. You needed it financially? Yes. And you didn't stop and he didn't stop you from joining in 2024. Um, right? I independently made it outside of him. Hold up. And he didn't stop you from joining in 2024, right? I independently made it outside of him. You independently made the choice outside of him, right? Yes. And he saw how lucrative it was, and he was proud of you, right? He was. And when you spoke to or on direct examination to Miss Comey about making your own income, you said that you didn't need his permission to get on your own income, that you wanted his approval. Do you remember that? Can you refresh my memory? Sure. Do you remember testifying on direct examination when Miss Comey asked you why did you need Sean's permission to get your own income? You answered that in my heart, he was my boyfriend and I wanted his approval, right? Yes. And that was solely about OnlyFans, right? Yes. Because he was helping you in these other ventures like your dress line, right? Yes. Okay. So he never explicitly told you that you needed to get his permission to earn your own income, right? I just felt like I needed his approval. Oh, that's different, girl. That's a different answer than saying I felt like okay. All right. Just gonna let me stop right there, okay? I just felt like I needed his permission because regarding OnlyFans. In your heart, he was your boyfriend. And because of OnlyFans specifically, you wanted his approval. Yes. Because OnlyFans comes with it implied nudie, you said, and bikini and lingerie photos, right? Yes. Okay. And in addition to the 20,000 he gave you for the dress line, he also gave you money sporadically throughout your relationship, right? Yes. And most of the time you didn't have to ask for any of that money, right? Yes. He would just send you a wire or give you cash or just because, right? Yes. And you were really grateful for that, right? Yes. Do you think does it sound right that over the three 3.5 years of your relationship, he wired you over 150,000? I never really counted, but I assume, yeah, that that would be close to that. And you've told the government previously that you've always gravitated towards providers. Do you remember telling them that? Yes. Can you explain that? Yes, I do find men who are successful attractive as a woman. My ideal partner is a protector and a provider. And you found that attractive in Mr. Combs. I did. And you testified a lot about the house, which you signed a lease in 2023. Do you remember? Yes. And I noticed on direct examination that you referred to it as our home, our residence. Do you remember that? Yes. There was always, Sean would say it was our house. And then we would say it was our home. Okay. Sometimes I would say my house. I don't know. It would be a mix. Did you view it as your house or our house? How did you view it? Um, when we first got it, I would say our home. And then as time went on, it's like my house. Did you envision it at the beginning as a house for you both? Yes. The way that I was speaking about the house was that I wanted to get something bigger, and also I wanted to be up to Sean's taste level as well. And I knew that at this point in our relationship, we had just done so many hotels, and privacy was starting to become just an issue for me. And I figured in my mind, if we got a home that was to his taste level, that we could just start at least doing them, here in the privacy of our home. Okay, so just so I understand that when you thought process at that time, you signed the lease in April, started in April of 2023, right? Yes. So at that point, it was nearly 2 years since your first hotel night, right? Yes. And privacy was becoming an issue, right? Yes. Both of you wanted. Did you want anything about the hotel nights to leak in any way? you didn't want, excuse me, both of you wanted, you did not want anything about the hotel nights to leak in any way, right? No. This was something that was very private behavior, right? Yes. These were very private nights. Yes. And it was important that his security didn't know about these nights. Objection, Your Honor. Okay. Objection from Ms. Comey. From your perspective, it was important that none of his employees knew about the entertainers at these nights, right? Right. And it was important that none of the general public knew about these nights, right? Right. And it was from your perspective, right? Yes. And you understood that this was a form, this was from his perspective, right? Yes. Okay. So in March or April of 2023, part of the thinking behind getting a very nice home was that you guys could shift it from hotels to the home, right? Yes. Okay. That was nearly 2 years after you started the hotel nights. Yes, okay. You had every intention of it. If you were going to do these nights, you would have them at the home instead. I just start mixing it up. Yes. This is okay, like girl. Simply Kiwi, thank you for becoming a member. Shout out to you, Simply Kiwi. This right here, my friends, okay? This right here, my friends, is something that I think we have to keep in mind, okay? So it went from hotel nights. She wanted the house so that they can do this thing in private and they can skip the hotel nights. So then they can do these FOs or these hotel nights in that property instead, and it would be more private. Let me know, because that's how this is landing to me. Was it every intention to have this home to do the FOs? Because it's kind of like I know that she was conflicted, but it sounds like there was a level of acceptance that she had at some point. That's what I want to know. Let me know. But anyways, guys, okay, so this is what I'm gonna do. And this was during, oh my god, Tina, it doesn't escape me that this is when this was happening. They wanted to do FOs during the freak offs, excuse me, freak FOs during the C19. That's crazy to me. All right. I'm gonna stop right here. But tomorrow, I know that court starts a little bit later. I'm gonna get on earlier so we can read some of this and maybe finish or at least get to as much as we can before the actual hearing. I feel pretty good about this. So we're getting there. We're getting there. I know we had to skip some of the first parts of it. So I guess I just have to know what you guys think in the comments. Now, people are still, I told you guys, I'm sure Inner City Press will post and update everybody about what happened. I don't know. You guys are still messaging me on that. I am not the keeper of I'm a supporter, not the keeper of Inner City Press. I am sure that he will post. It sounds like he already posted something. Okay. So we gonna let him just figure that out. I don't know what happened. And I'm sure that they'll figure that out. Okay. That's what I got to say about that. What is this? Hold up. That was 11. Yeah, that was last in his break. He did just post. So, and not a post from 5 years ago that you guys keep referencing. But he's back. He's posting. Maybe he had to deal with something private. You guys go contact him about that. All right, guys, I got to go. But hit the like button. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thank you, Sylvia. Thank you, my beautiful, wonderful Vaughn, Vix, and all my supporter. You guys are amazing. And I will see you guys mañana. We'll go through some of this and get ahead and feel like we'll do very well during this. Okay. You guys have a great night. Bye. Hit the like button. Bye, guys.